Hi, welcome to day 16 of the Morning Yoga Challenge, and today's theme is slow flow. So what that means is we will be going through quite a slow flow together, holding each pose for about 5 breaths. We will be starting in a standing position. Just make sure you've got enough room behind you, and you can start with either your feet hip distance apart, or you can start with the toes touching and a little space between the heels. For this practice, because we are holding some of the poses a little bit longer than usual, if you do have a blanket or anything, you might like to keep that nearby just for the knees. And then when you're ready, we'll start with arms down by the side. And on the next inhale, just reach the arms up. Gaze can be up if it feels okay for the neck. On the exhale, bring the left hand down by the side. Inhale to lengthen. On the next exhale, just send the right arm down and over, palm facing down. You might start to feel the stretch down this side of the body. And inhale, bring both arms up. On the next exhale, drop the right arm down the side of the body, and then just reach the left arm up and over. And then inhale to bring both arms up. Gaze can be up. And from here, we'll start to bring the arms out nice and wide to the side as we draw the navel in and start to hinge forward at the hips. You can start to bend the knees as you bring the hands down towards the floor, maybe releasing the head, the crown of the head is coming towards the floor. And then if you like, you can take opposite hands with opposite elbows. Just come into this ragdoll pose. And while you're here, you might like to make small movements, maybe straightening and bending one leg at a time. You can release the head out, maybe gently just shaking yes or no. Or you can just stay in stillness. We'll just be here for another 3 rounds of breath. And then just release the hands, come onto the fingertips or bring the hands to the shins. Inhale up for a flat back position. Again, we'll hold it here for about 5 breaths. Being careful not to lock out the knees here. Now on the exhale, just releasing back down to our forward fold. Again, we'll hold it here for a few more rounds of breath. And then bend the knees as much as you can, plant the hands on the floor and step back with the left foot, come onto the back of the left knee. Walk the hands back slightly, check your knees in line with your ankle. And then bring your hands up, just check your hips are in line. And then we can leave the hands just on the top of the thigh. And again, we'll hold this here for about 5 breaths. And release the hands, just bring the hands out nice and wide and draw the hands together. You can interlace the hands together, bring the palms to touch. drawing the palms towards touching. Or if you prefer, you can just bring the hands to opposite forearms. You can hold maybe the elbows or anywhere along the forearms, fine. We'll stay here for 5 rounds of breath, just starting to really open up through the shoulders, through the chest, open up the shoulders. If your hands are interlaced, you can see if you can start to just draw the hands down. You might start to feel the chest open even more. And just slowly release the hands. Bring the hands back down to frame the foot. Push into the hands and step that right foot back. So we'll take that on the opposite side now. So push into the hands. Inhale to reach that left foot up. And then just see if you can bring that left foot forward in between the hands, maybe using your left hand to get the foot there. Check your knees in line with your ankle. And then just bring the hands up to the top of the leg, maybe checking the hips are in line. And then we'll stay here for 5 rounds of breath. Again, release the hands, draw them out behind the back, interlacing the fingers, drawing the hands, the palms together. Maybe start to just open up through the chest by drawing the hands down, or taking opposite forearms or opposite elbows. When you're ready, releasing the arms nice and slowly. Bring the hands down to frame that foot, push into the hands and step that knee back. So from here, we'll be making our way down to the floor. And to get there, we'll be bending at the elbows, keeping the elbows in towards the ribs. So from here, draw all the weight forward slightly. Start to bend at the elbows. Bring your chin and chest down towards the floor. And then straighten the legs out, coming onto the tops of the feet. We'll bring the arms out in front of us. We want the forearms on the floor, palms facing down, shoulders stacked over the elbows. And you want to start to push into the tops of the feet, so you will feel the muscles in the legs engage. They might start to lift off the floor slightly. And then with the hands, start to draw back the hands so you start to feel the chest open. You can play around with the distance of the position of the forearms. So if this is a little bit too much for the back, you could try bringing the forearms out to the side slightly. If you want to maybe get into it a little bit more, you can try just bringing them in. I like to have them in a straight line, so my shoulders are in line with my elbows and then in line with my fingers. And we'll just be here for 2 more rounds of breath. And slowly make your way back down to the mat. We'll make a little pillow with the hands, and you can rest the forehead on the hands. Maybe just shake the hips out side to side. And then start to breathe into the belly. You might feel a little release on the lower back on the inhale. From here, draw your hands back in line with your shoulders, tuck your toes and push yourself up, back into an all fours position. Start to walk the hands back. Come onto the soles of the feet, and then start to walk the hands out in front. Bring the forehead down to the floor for extended child's pose. If this is uncomfortable and you've got a blanket to hand, you can always try putting the blanket behind the backs of the legs, or maybe even resting your forehead on it. And slowly start to walk the hands back up to center. We'll take a little bit of a twist here, so bring your left hand so it's in line with your face, and on the inhale just sweep that right arm up, gaze can be up. And then exhale, place that hand where the left hand was. And then the next inhale, sweep the opposite arm up. And then exhale, bring that hand back down to the mat. Tuck the toes, start to walk the hands back. Come onto the ball of the feet. You can stay here with your hands out, your fingers out in front for balance. If you did want to test your balance today, you can try and wrap the arms around the shins, staying on the balls of the feet, and then maybe just drop the head in. And while you're here, notice whether you are breathing into the backs of the ribs. You might start to feel the ribs expand slightly. And release the hands and slowly start to straighten the legs. Roll in up one vertebrae at a time. Roll in the shoulders down and back when you arrive at the top. You might like to roll them forward as well. And just arriving back into our mountain pose, so the same pose what we started in. You can take a moment here if you like, just notice how the body feels. And that's the end of our practice today. I hope you enjoyed that quite slow flow. We got time to really feel into each pose and draw attention to our breath as well. And that is the end of our class. So you can do that a few more times if you like, if you've got time now. Otherwise, I hope to see you back for tomorrow, which is day 17, and the theme is core. Thanks. Namaste.